Welcome to Contemplative Writing with Kristina Amelong, Awaken the New Species, spinning off of Barbara Marx Hubbard's course, and off of her book, 52 Codes for Self-Conscious Evolution. And let us bow to begin. All right. I'm so happy that each of you are here today. Every time it's a little bit of a different configuration, and it's a big deal for each of us to be willing to step into the vulnerability of this space as we gather new people, different people, and create this we space. So thank you for being here, each of you individually, Christine and Lynn and Patty and Christine and Allie and me. For those of you who don't know, we tone, Christine, to begin. And so what that means for me is that I'm just looking to sort of share the whole of myself that I can't possibly communicate to any of you in this moment through words, but through my voicing into this space with just sound, using that to say hello with my whole body to each of you, and in that way to bring in the deeper truth of reality that we're all living in. So however you choose to express yourself, I invite you to make some sound and be as loud or soft, or try to find the voices. It's a little hard with the technology. It's much easier in person, but we're giving it a try. So if everyone can unmute yourself, and we will just go ahead and sing in a vibratory way into the space. All right. And when we end, I'll go like that so everybody knows that we're ending. Okay? Does that make sense, Christine? You with us? All right. Okay, here we go. All right.
Thank you.
One more time. Ooh.
Hey.
Ooh. Anyone want to say anything about that?
Yeah, it just feels good. In my chest, that vibrating.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right? I
love
it. Patty's cat try and join us during that. That was cute.
Yahoo. All right. So anybody, before we meditate, have any questions about the contemplative writing process that they want to explore for a few minutes? Okay, I do want to say, Patty, can I mention your email that you sent me last week?
Sure.
So thank you. After class, Patty sent me an email, and Patty, about your experience with, in particular, my writing and learning about my personal path of transformation evermore. And that's exactly the kind of experience we are seeking to create in this space, where each person becomes witnessed and each person's journey is shared in terms of the potential of each of us as human beings to love and be loved, and find that creative impulse in us, find that courage. So Patty, your email to me just gives me so much more courage and hope for all of us. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Right. So what we do next is we meditate for 5 minutes. And in order to sort of just ground that much more in the body and in that evolutionary impulse and consciousness that we are continually arising out of at this very moment. So Allie will hit the bowl for us to begin. And before we do that, just a couple housekeeping things. So when you're not talking or sharing space, go ahead and mute yourself. So Christine, do you know how to mute yourself? All right. And Christine, I know you know how, so you can go ahead and control your mute.
But I was, sorry.
That's okay. We tone together. So there we go. All right. So, and Allie, you can go ahead and hit the timer, and she will hit the bowl again as we complete, and then I'll read the prompt and we'll go ahead. And make sure you have pen and paper handy for the writing. All right, welcome back. Thank you, Allie. Do folks have candles? We didn't do it last week because of where I was, but let us go ahead and light our candle now as we enter into the arising of our writing space. May this light be with us always. And as we write and throughout the week, may it remind us of the co-creative powers that come from within us, around us, and between us. All right, so the practice of contemplative writing is just pen to paper. I read the prompt, and then anything of Barbara's writing that you are inspired to speak about, to share about, whether it's personal experience or exploring the words poetically or reflecting with the words off of some other piece of art. Like I'm really into Hamilton lately because I've seen it recently. So I'm enjoying integrating Lin-Manuel Miranda's artistic sensibilities into my own writing. So I will read the code 34, and you can start writing anytime or taking notes. We will, once I'm done reading, and it's a longer code, so once I'm done reading, then we'll have 20 minutes to write, and then we'll give, and Allie will again hit the bowl to enter into that writing space. And then after 20 minutes, she will let us know when that is done. We'll have a 5-minute break. We'll come back together and we'll read our writing if you so choose. During that 5 minutes, you can continue to write or have a break. All right, so here we go. Code 34. Feel your light body's code radiating at the center of the nucleus of every cell of your body, consummating the union of the essential self and the universal self. You are co-creating with the universal self as an incorruptible vibrational field around you, penetrating into the nucleus of your cells. And, you know, it's interesting, Barbara wrote this quite a long time ago, and physics shows us this is exactly true. Turn your attention to the process of transmutation of your cellular structure in quantum biology and focus on the vibrational field that holds the collective memory of your full potential. Place your attention at the very center of your cells. There's an information pattern there. Choose to activate that pattern with your intention to become a body resonant with thought, a new body capable of responding to your full passion to create and to express divine intent. Feel the metamorphosis of the body as your consciousness expands. Nature always creates new bodies for new consciousness. From amoebas to fish to mammals to humans, and now to universal humans, bodies have changed and are changing now. When you are able to combine conscious intent, new health and healing modalities, and new technologies, you will be on the threshold of gaining continuity of consciousness through ever-evolving bodies. You are transcending and including the creature-human condition, just as Homo sapiens sapiens transcended and included Homo habilis, the first tool maker. All right. Allie, can you enter us into the space? And see you all in 25 minutes.
So now it's time for your 5-minute break. So feel free to stretch or go to the bathroom, get some water, and I'll see you in 5 minutes.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So, what is the process of feedback and sharing your writing? First of all, there's this thing called front porching where all of us feel self-conscious about what we've written that's not good enough or for whatever reason, and we're wanting to protect ourselves from that. But the truth is, this isn't about good or bad writing. It's about us just learning how to be in this space with each other and to find our own process of trusting and sharing and creating. So as much as you can, just step into your reading of your writing, read slowly so everybody can catch everything. And know that we are here to support you on your journey, wherever that journey finds you, whether you are expressing bliss or rage or outrageous pain. And in terms of giving feedback, it's really helpful to take notes as people are reading. It's okay if you've missed some of what they've written, but that decision to reflect back to each other how we're moved, the kinds of things that we hear that repeat, that speak to the code in a fresh way, that give us insight. Those are all really great things to share. So before we begin, does anybody have any questions or needs for creating more safety in their own space, in their own body? All right, so we'll keep ourselves on mute until we're sharing, and we share as we are moved to share. So anybody can start us off, and ideally we all give feedback. If you don't want to share, that's fine, or if you just want to share part of what you've written, that's also fine. And if you're not moved to give feedback, that's also just fine. So I'll just pause and let whoever wants to come forward, including the lovely cat. You've got to, there you go.
I'll start.
All right, Patty, you go.
I'm writing from a section of the code. Turn your attention to the process of transmutation of your cellular structure and focus on the vibrational field that holds the collective memory of your full potential. I am in the transmutation of moving from who I've believed myself to be, a human being having a spiritual experience, and who I really am, a spiritual being having a human experience. I often use the analogy of the caterpillar into the butterfly. The butterfly was always within the caterpillar, but in order for the butterfly to fly, there has to be the complete closure to the caterpillar body in order to become the butterfly. I am bringing closure to my caterpillar life over and over each time I feel a restructuring of my cellular body, and each time I feel a restructuring of my cellular body. I feel my caterpillar body wanting to hold on to the familiar, recreating experiences that would pull me back into the life of familiarity. And yet there's something deeper that is alerted and is pulling me towards a higher vibrational field through my cellular memory of my higher potential. It's so interesting to be in this push-pull and being aware that I make the choice of which world to live in. I can recreate the past and continue living from who I've believed myself to be, or I can choose to create my life from my full potential. The question that helps me know in which direction I am moving is, will this fill me with life force energy, or will it drain my life force energy? The end.
The end. All right, Patty. Thank you for reading. It's beautiful. Would you like feedback?
Sure.
All right.
I can go first, if that's okay.
Yes, please, Lynn. Go ahead.
I like the ending, actually. Will this fill me with life force energy? Because that's really what it's all about. And I like that you said that you're really a spiritual being having a human experience, and the whole caterpillar analogy was really great. And you are becoming a butterfly, restructuring, even when the caterpillar is pulling you back to familiarity. So, and also the cellular memory of your higher potential. So it was great hearing that whole analogy, caterpillar analogy.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn. Next.
Say a few words.
Go ahead, Christine.
I loved it, Patty. I loved your whole mood and feeling. I recently watched a caterpillar become a butterfly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was so vivid. A friend and I sat in her garden and watched it all happen. And you described it beautifully, especially the words, I guess this was a little bit later, you said, caterpillar wanting to move into familiar places, but being pushed in the push and pull. I thought that was just wonderful. And it's up to you to make that choice, to decide. I think this is the second and a half time we've been together, because we're only together a half time in the beginning.
Yeah.
I've seen, I suppose it's normal, but I've seen wonderful positive change in you in just those few hours.
Thank
The
you.
last question, will this fill me with life force energy, or will it drain me, was so telling, so deep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Christine, do you want to give it a go?
Yeah, I do. I felt so relieved listening to your writing, because I just felt like this is where I'm supposed to be. Just the part about recreating the past, not doing that. Wow, that's so big for me. And I think I carry a lot of shame around that, because it's been like a default setting. And it's only recently that I'm even aware that there's choice involved, as you said, which is so powerful. So I thank you for that. And just, yeah, fill me with life. Does this fill me with life energy? If I ask myself that question, that will certainly help me make decisions. Really struggle with decisions.
Yeah.
So, I really appreciate your writing. So much clarity, so eloquent, and
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Allie? Can't hear you, Allie.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Patty.
Hi.
I really enjoyed your writing. It's already been called out, but your phrase, who I really am, a spiritual being having a human experience, like, ooh, yeah, you go, girl. I loved your reference to the caterpillar body, about how being a butterfly, you still need closure to the caterpillar body. And I've written about the reference of caterpillar to butterfly metamorphosis, but I've never really thought about that closure step, you know? You're like, for monarchs, for example, the caterpillar as a monarch, the milkweed is actually poisonous. So you're the safest.
Yeah.
You're the safest little guy as a caterpillar. And then to have closure around that safety, like, okay, I guess I'm going to fly into the wind. And it's, wow, it gave me a new perspective on that change. And that's really awesome. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Allie. So Patty, what I loved was everything everyone said, and also the way that you just sort of meticulously wrote and reflected around the whole process of awareness was what you were doing, using this code and this I am in the transmutation, and really owning that and treating it with the sacredness that we all know that it is. And so I appreciated your bravery through that, and the way that you talked about decision and choice and free will was really beautiful. And yes, the line, each time I feel a restructuring of the caterpillar body, something deeper. So interesting to be in this push-pull. I can choose. So thank you very much for all of that. And would you like to say anything?
I would. All the points that you all made, you all heard my intent and the message that I was intending to bring forth. I have to say that last sentence about does this feed me or drain me? I just got an email just before this class from a friend who's in this, Helen Heinmiller, because I am in the transmutation in my life. I keep being drawn to apply for jobs from my past, and I'm creating a new beginning. And that pull back into a world that is my caterpillar life doesn't feed. And I was really struggling. I had up to midnight last night to apply for a job, a vocational rehabilitation counselor job that I've wanted my whole career, and was really struggling with, I am in that right now. And I made it to midnight and didn't apply. And in my past, just since I've been here, I've applied, I've interviewed, and then I say, well, if it's not meant for if it's not the universe's plan for me, I won't get the job. So I put the deciding outside of myself. And this time I decided, no, this isn't good for me. And then Helen sent me this phrase that was so relieving, like, oh yeah, that's what's pulling internally. That's the alert that happens. This isn't for your highest potential. So that it's nice to have an opportunity to share this whole process with people who understand and hear the same language. So thank you.
Isn't it though? Yes.
It is.
Thank you. All right, Patty, are you complete?
I am, thanks.
Oh, thank you. So whoever is moved to share next.
I can go next. So, I feel a shift happening, a lightness, a lack of concern. Even the Chopra meditation series supports this. My true self contains every possibility. And anatta swabhava, My being is without beginning or end. Reading code 34, I hear Karen Drucker's song, I love every cell in my body. Every cell is infused with love. Love is the key. See it and be it. Only love. I practiced this weekend. I initially had trepidation. Will Chris and Paul make comments that would annoy me? Every time I thought those thoughts, I stopped. I am here to have fun and support my family. And what a difference it made. Instead of worrying about what we were doing or where we were going and how others were going to act and react, I let it be. Unfold in the perfect way. When it started to rain and my immediate reaction was, I want to leave now, I stopped. Bought a rain poncho, kept my umbrella handy. Let others decide what to do next. Love and support. I was picturing a park setting, walking in nature, smelling the flowers, coloring with the boys. Imagine my surprise to find out that Hershey Park is an amusement park. Would I have still gone if I had known this? Yes, because I was there to love and support. What a different experience than past interactions with those members of my family. Even just not dreading what might happen or be said. Did my demeanor affect everyone else? I'm assuming it did. I didn't even let others' outbursts shift my calm. Love and support. The ride home alone with Chris was enjoyable. Even when she talked about that movie and mentioned the word gay, it wasn't the same tone. Although she did bring up the word, smiley face. I'm still not sure I'm ready or want to, or whatever the feelings are, to hang out with her sister next week. The end.
Thank you, Lynn. Beautiful. Thank you. Would you like feedback?
Yes, please.
All right.
I would like to go.
Go ahead, Patty.
Of course, I hear a theme, which is the whole theme of the 52 codes. We are transitioning into new species. And so the very first beginning, I feel a shift happening. And then you go through and explain and give examples of where you're experiencing this shift. And for you, that was most recent, was your family, which you talked about last time, of moving into that weekend, and now it's from the view after the weekend and how you actually lived the shift, which was very nice to have that content of before and after, to see this shift happening. You are consciously transmuting in the moment who you would have been and who you truly are. So my true self contains every possibility. And to me, you took the highest possibility in every opportunity that obviously could have had a different, more familiar outcome. And your results were wonderful.
Yeah.
So to me, this whole thing that this intensive is about is putting into action our highest selves. And that's what your writing described to me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Patty. Allie?
Lynn, it's fun listening to your writing. It's like a weekly episode in a way, like, ooh, what's happening next? I really like how you started out with that song lyric. Love is it love is the way, see it and be it?
No, the song was, I love every cell in my body. Every cell is infused with love.
Okay. Awesome. That really set the stage for your weekend, the transformation that happened, and telling us about it. The way I let it be unfold in the perfect way. Like, it's hard for a lot of people to grasp just presence, just like, well, whatever happens, this is exactly how it's gonna, like, this is how it's supposed to happen. This is the perfect way. And like, that's a beautiful way to see it, because then it's always going to be the perfect way. And that Hershey Park is an amusement park. I remember listening to your writing last week. And like, she's going to have a great time in nature. And then there's billions of little 8-year-olds screaming and
Yeah.
Not exactly nature, but human nature, you know. And you just flowed with it, with your presence and with love and support, and that like shift in perception, just like, you know what, I'm just here to spread love and support. That is a beautiful thing. And it sounds like it carried through your weekend, it carried through your writing. And I mean, it's it's you. So thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allie. Christine?
Yes, love and support is what I heard all the way through, too. And I just was so happy to hear about your weekend. I'm happy to hear that it went well, and happy that you bought a poncho. That was really smart.
Yeah.
Did you have any chocolate kisses?
No, we left. It started to pour, so we left before we did the chocolate factory thing.
Sorry for going off key here. And I love this sentence. This is really all I have left to say. Not dreading what happened. That must have been a wonderful feeling, and I'm sure you're carrying that through. I'm just very happy for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. I'll go. So some of my favorite lines are, my being is without beginning or end. Every cell is infused with love. I practiced that this weekend. Every time I thought these thoughts, I stopped. What a difference it made. I let it be. And then the details, yes, about the rain and the buying the poncho and the umbrella. And my experience of the writing itself was that you took us all with you. Like, I felt in my body going with you. And that was really fun for me to experience that. And so, yeah, like, wow, how we're affecting each other and how we're bringing that effect to awareness feels really powerful to me right now, especially through your writing, Lynn. So thank you for sharing that journey.
Thank you.
Did my demeanor affect everyone else? Yes. Christine, do you have anything?
Yes, I enjoyed your writing, Lynn. When you said when it started pouring and you wanted to just go home, I could so relate to when I start to get uncomfortable, just wanting to quit. And that you said, I bought a rain poncho, and I got this image of like this new attitude and way of doing things can just be a rain poncho, you know, like a metaphoric, because you're like, okay, it's raining, I'm here, love and support. And it was also very powerful to me because I have a very strained family relationship, and I haven't seen them in a long time. And the next time that I do see them, my intention is that I be able to be different as you were, as you clearly were with your family. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Lynn, would you like to share?
It was interesting because as I was going through the weekend, I was thinking about being here and writing, and I even started practicing what I was going to write. It's like, nope, I'm just going to wait till that day, that time, and whatever comes to me, I'm going to write. So that was also a shift. In the past, I used to even say that I had to practice to be spontaneous. So that shift of just letting it happen in the moment was a big shift too. So
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks.
What a wonderful thing to bear witness to and to be part of. Wow. Thank you, Lynn. Are you complete?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right. I'll go ahead and share. I walked deeper into the woods, terror arising in my body, alone in the moonlit night, pine needles crunching under my feet. My last night in these woods of white pine, red maple, and shimmering aspen. I am sorry, I say to the woods. I am sorry I do not hear your language, see your love for me. I am sorry I am not able to be fully in relationship to all you offer. Earlier in the day, in my writing, I wrote about a single raindrop falling on my iPhone as I rode the rental bike down a rustic country road. I imagined that single raindrop in the writing. I was experimenting with the merging of reality with fiction to give me another tool to allow my writing to flow. I said out loud to my other writing friends, do you notice how the things we are writing about and the outside reality are merging together? They each nodded. Yes, I feel the coincidences happening too, Julie, the sexy sociologist, said. Now, alone in the woods, afraid of the 3 red fox we saw eating from the compost heap the night before, my body aroused for an attack from some character out of a horror movie, swatting mosquitoes. I found another voice radiating at the center of the nucleus of every cell of my body. I am sorry I am not available for the magic of relationship with you, night, trees, sky, wind, stars, moon, clouds. I look up as the fast-moving clouds sail by the crescent moon. I am sorry, I repeat. And then, and just then, a single raindrop lands on the left side of my eyeglasses. My entire being opens like I'm being penetrated by this night, this wind, this moon, this sky, this union of essential self and the universal self. I bow down to the ground in ecstasy. I am yours. We are unified. I give myself to your service. Then something doesn't feel right. This is not about bowing down in other. Then all of this in my body seems to say to me, rise up, it says, rise up. I look up again to the moon, the stars, seeing the Big Dipper on the horizon, seeing the Big Dipper, Jupiter on the horizon, Mars red and bright, rising also. The clouds seem to be clearing. I raise both of my hands, feeling a deep union. Oh, I say, suddenly understanding at the cellular level. This is about both of us showing up, not just about me being in service to you, but this mystery also doing its part in showing up. Just then, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 raindrops fall on my hands as my hands are up, and only my hands consummating this union. And thank you for listening, and I would love feedback.
Yeah, I really liked when you describe things, you have such a great descriptive quality that you can really see it and feel it, and like you're being there. And I like the threading of the raindrops going through the single raindrop, and then another single raindrop, and then you rise up, and then there's multiple raindrops. So it's sort of like you're here and you're here, and then you rise up and there's more. So that was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Christine?
Alone in the woods, the trees, and all the other things you described. What an experience you gave to all of us. Whether or not this really happened, I don't know, but I believe it did. I believe you were there. The I am sorry that I am not available was a concept that I could really spend some time with. Very interesting. I'd love to have a conversation about it, as a matter of fact. Not available for the magic of a relationship with you, with each of these natural wonders. And I just repeat what a wonderful nocturnal, lonely experience that was, and how beautifully you described it. And of course, the raindrops increasing as you came to the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Patty?
So much to write, to comment on. I get caught up in really listening to you and don't write things down, and then it's like, oh, there's so much. It seemed like you were describing how you feel or felt disconnect, wanting connection, riding your bike, wanting connection, but talking from a place of disconnect to the trees, to the sky, to the clouds, and yet feeling a longing to connect, but not knowing how to do that. And then what part in nature could connect with you was the raindrop. The raindrop made the initial connection, and then from there you were able to open up and receive and be one with all that you felt disconnected to. So it was nice. And then an even more, as you became awakened to that, the raindrops on your hands brought you even more aliveness in that oneness. And then the recognition of how you can disconnect again, thinking you're in oneness by bowing and creating you're a better than, I'm worshiping you, rather than an equality of oneness. So it was disconnect, connect, disconnect in the connect, and then connect, a bigger actual connection. So that was just part of it. That was good.
Thank you, Patty.
Kristina, hi.
Hi, Allie.
Just as a general observation in your writings, I think it's really powerful how you continue to find voice. You know, a lot of your writings are going to a place where you don't feel like you have permission or you aren't quite there yet. And then it's like this discovery, this bridging, this transformation. And it's a pretty consistent pattern. And it gets stronger and stronger. I'm sorry, I say to the woods. That was strong. Merging of reality with fiction. Every cell in my body. Let's see. I found another voice radiating at the center of every cell in my body. Ooh. And how that voice speaks to you as like your translator of nature, you know, like rise up. This is a part of it. This is the experience, you know. And this is about both of us showing up. And I thought that was really powerful because with every experience, there needs to be a witness, you know, someone having the experience, someone noting it, someone, and that's the relationship you had with nature that night. It was just like witnessing each other. And yeah, thank you for sharing that writing. It's a powerful experience you had.
Thank you, and you're welcome. Thank you for the feedback. Christine, would you like to share?
Yeah, I, like Patty, was so engrossed it was hard to take notes. But I wholeheartedly agree with what's been said. And part about, I think you said, I tried to write it down after, an apology that you couldn't hear what was being said. That was so beautiful, because that desire that you have is the key, right, to being able to hear. You know, you put like a little Ho'oponopono prayer in there, you know, I'm sorry, and then everything can happen. So, and yeah, not being available for the magic of the relationship, that it was hard for me to see how you weren't available. It seemed like you were very available. But so that's it. Thank you. I loved it.
Thank you very much. What do I want to say? I just love writing with you guys. It's really great. I feel really safe and able to evolve with you, both in my writing and personally and in community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I am complete. Whoever wants to read next can go ahead.
I can take a gander at it.
All right, Allie.
Radiating, rippling outward, waves, a union of my truest self, my essential self, waves at my universal self, a bit coy, but ever so present. They know we are one, but the human condition gives us permission to keep splitting ourselves up into categories, traits, descriptors. Is this because we've always known the feeling separate but whole? In 5 to 7 years, our bodies are made up of completely new cells. Still one whole, but ever separate and changing. Right now, I sit in front of you, 50 trillion cells that respond to the name Allie. As Barbara says, nature always creates new bodies with new consciousness. What new consciousness do these ever-shifting cells bring me?
I breathe into this question. I bring awareness to my breath. Lately, it's been deeper, louder, more powerful. It grows with the size of my inquiries. My shoulders begin to rise as I inhale. My back arches slightly, like a cat's first morning stretch. My chest expands skyward. I exhale, shoulders falling, the bottom of my lungs hugging tighter to my rib cage. I notice this flow and evaluate its motion. The rhythm of my body creates a wave. Wow. A wave. Gravity speaks in waves. Light speaks in waves. My body speaks in waves. A ripple, radiating consciousness. I'm complete. And I would like feedback.
Yay. All right, Patty.
I just had a visual. I didn't write any words down, but the visual was like what the words that you used at the beginning. I could just see your body and all of this radiating light flowing out of your body. And then you did words, nice words. And then your description at the end was again this visual body radiating. So it was like you showed a picture, you described the picture, you showed the picture of just radiating energy out of your body. That was a nice visual. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Next, Christine.
Just to continue with what Patty said, yes, radiating outward, which was the first part of your writing, but then bringing it into your breath, which grows in size. You radiate outward, and then you breathe in, and it all grows with you. And breath grows with size of inquiry. I thought that was I'm not sure I got it exactly right, but I thought that was a very interesting phrase. And that's it. Thank you very much, Aliella. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Christine.
Christine.
Allie, I wanted to share that I'm really impressed by how in touch you are with your body in response to your thoughts, emotions, experience, and your evolution. I think that's really key to being in the present moment, which is huge, right? So that's what I got out of your writing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, I can go next if that's okay.
Go ahead.
I liked in the beginning the radiating, the rippling outward, and we keep splitting ourselves separate but whole. And I also like the phrase grows with the size of our inquiries. And the rhythms of the body creates waves and ripples. So that was a great metaphor and movement through things.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Allie, it seems like every week your writing gets more integrated, like you're able to pack more things into this. So we had some inquiry and references to the prompt, and here I sit in front of you, 50 trillion cells. So it wasn't just we were listening to the writing, but now suddenly we're with in this moment as we're listening to the writing with the magic of it all, right? And then, yes, that it grows with the size of my inquiry was just fantastic. And then the way that you brought in the body and the being, you're noticing of the flow of your body and breath and the rise and fall of your shoulders and lungs and this sort of thing. And then you're evaluating of that motion, which is sort of the same thing that you're doing with your awareness in your writing, the motion of your writing, the motion of all your cells, the motion of your integration with the world. And so it was wonderful. And the way that you ended with gravity speaks in waves, my body speaks in waves, water speaks in waves.
Thank you, Kristina.
You're welcome. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I lately a theme of mine has been taking my inquiry and the Dharma and kind of feeling it inside of my body, so I can put an experience to it or a place to it, because everything I am and everything I know, everything I know is everything I am. Even everything I don't know is everything I am, if I am everything. And then it's like, okay, well, let's take a step back and like, what am I? Like, what makes up my experience? And nibbling at that bit by bit as an observer to myself has been really intriguing. And it's definitely presenting. And so to get the feedback of like radiant and being like in touch of the journey through the body, it's something I've been trying to work on. So it's really nice. Thank you.
You're welcome, Ellie. Thank you very much. Who is next? Christine?
Okay. Yes, our bodies have and are ever changing. Throughout the billions of years of evolution, we have had to change and adapt. I can't seem to rid my mind of the interview I heard at noon, prompted by the dreadful wildfires north of Athens, Greece. The interviewee was a brilliant woman who, for 30 years, has tried to inform the world of the horrors we would face with climate change, and which we now witness in events like the fires burning the only green hills surrounding Athens. She talked of all the species we are losing every day in every type of living creature, mammals, insects of every kind. I think of the time it has taken for each species to survive and become what it is today, how the cells in the bodies, like those in mine, have developed and adapted. And because of the lack of protection, man is allowed to let them be wiped out. Hard for me to concentrate on the light within myself becoming ever more powerful and loving with these other worries on my mind. Nonetheless, I do know that I am changing and can, at times, feel the higher frequency vibrating in my body. When I am calm and can find and give joy, this time with Awaken the New Species has indeed brought change to me. The experience of contemplative writing with Kristina and you ladies over the last 3 weeks has definitely added to the beneficial changes I am feeling and in turn trying to encourage in others. But today I can't tear my mind away from the raging fires in my beloved Greece, where I lived for 8 years, the best 8 years of my life. The country and its peoples have suffered so much in the last 10 years. The poverty inflicted on the population by the greedy politicians and bankers have made it necessary for young women to prostitute themselves in order to feed their children. Many of the 2,000 beautiful islands have been sold to the Chinese buyers and others. The suicide rates are astronomical. I must stop and remember all the glory that once was Greece and what she has given to the world, and be grateful for my happy years there. Come back to me, my light, and let it shine on my 6 new lady friends here, gathered together here in the safe and creative space. Please forgive my gloomy words today. I send you all love and thanks for allowing me to feel comfortable in letting the sad words flow.
Thank you, Christine. Would you like feedback?
Yes.
I'll start, actually. You know, my whole body is constantly in this inquiry. I'm following the fires as well. I don't have as much personal connection to Greece. I am going to Europe tomorrow, and I lived in Europe for 7 or 8 months. But for me, the writing, again, using that word integration, which is a core concept in the whole of Barbara's work, and what we're doing here is represented in your work, because all of us have this in our hearts, on our minds, in our bodies at this very moment. If we are at all aware and awake, we know. And so it is very real, and it is going on in every instant, this way that we're bringing forward our personal potential and waking that up into the world's potential. So I deeply appreciate you, and for whatever reason you felt apologetic, I witness that evolution in you to let that go. And yes, this climate crisis is painful and tragic and happening, and only green hills surrounding Athens. And I think of the time, just the way that the glory of Greece has influenced the whole world. And so thank you. My cells weep with all of us.
Thank you, Kristina.
I'll go. I think what you described, I would agree with Kristina. An apology for what you talked about for me is unnecessary, because you are describing, what you described is a transmutation that we all are experiencing in different ways, as to the continual caterpillar body transmuting into the butterfly. And perhaps that was a very painful experience, and that is exactly what we're all experiencing. We have many fires in Oregon, and everything that you talked about is that balance of, this is what's going on and this is how I feel about it, and knowing that we're transitioning and transforming and transmuting. We are in the caterpillar body dissolving in so many different ways, and it's painful. And I'm glad that you allowed yourself to talk and speak of that. And I saw light in that as well. I could hear and feel the light that will transmute you out of that. Thanks for being honest and vulnerable.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you, Patty. That will transmute all of us. I want to add. Next.
Yeah, I can go next. Right from the beginning, you talked about having to change and adapt. And then you talked about the losing creatures and got back to developed and adapted. And you found your light within yourself was powerful. And you could feel a higher frequency. And then you got back to the raging fires. And then you went on to remember all of the glory that you remember from Greece and came, and then said, "Come back to me, my light." And even as you were letting the sad words flow. So there was this kind of dichotomy between the sadness of what's going on and you finding your light, and even with all of the sadness. So that was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.
Christine, your piece, it started out with the scale of it. If you're thinking scales, it's like big worldly issues, climate change, species dying, and then you get small. You bring it back to the cells in your body and like how you're feeling, and then you emerge into the direct experience you're having with your cells and with these bigger worldly changes. And I admire that writing style, first of all, but the way you transitioned it brought forward the metaphor for me of the world as a body. And I thought about all the help that the surrounding nations have given to the fire, all the little fire trucks as like white blood cells trying to help put out this fire and make our body okay again, you know. And that was a fun picture to have in my head, even though it's a somber topic. And I appreciate you bringing that reality into this circle, because it is a safe space to feel into just the depth of how tragic it actually is. So thank you.
Thank you for remembering all the help that's coming from around. That puts a smile on my face, Allie. Thanks.
Christine, when you wrote, "Come back to me, my light," I was thinking that if it wasn't for your light, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't be so moved. And sometimes I wonder, when I'll be on the calls, the evolving species call, it's all light and it's all high, and I can't always be there, but I really appreciate that. If we are the caterpillar into the butterfly, well, caterpillar, I don't think could transmute into the butterfly if it didn't have the heart to experience that whole thing. And I think for us, that is being able to being willing to feel how we feel. And so your writing, as Allie pointed out, went from just looking at this whole big picture to and how you feel about it. And it's all a key thing. It's key. It's key to evolution. So I wonder, I don't know how others would think, but is light just seeing everything through such divine eyes that you only see the good, you only see what's going to emerge from the phoenix that's going to rise from the ashes of this fire? Or is part of light this willing to be in the human body and feel how it feels from our perspective, where at times it's hard to see the positive when it's happening. So I felt like you're right. Kind of took me on a ride. So I really appreciate it. And I'm right with you. I'm half Greek.
Thank you so much, Kristina. You must be half Italian too, with Medici as your name.
Yeah.
That's a good combination.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Christine, would you like to say anything?
No, thank you all. I'm just fine. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Christine, are you open to sharing?
Yeah. Okay. In placing my attention on the nucleus of every cell contained within my body, I am both amazed and curious. Amazed because I never thought of it in this way, that there is a center within each cell that I can focus both loving thoughts of gratitude for all my writing. Okay. For all that my cells do for me. And I can also place intention on that very spot, the one point connecting all points in time and space. Most importantly, to Source and all my brothers and sisters. And so this place or point now reveals itself to me as a portal transcending time and space. This to me is amazing, and curiosity comes in because although this is ancient truth always residing in my DNA, it is in many senses new to me, or as Barbara would say, new and good. For now, I place a prayer that is twofold. One, may this consummation of my essential and universal self uniting be of ease and flow. And then as well, I place in this nucleus point my prayer that as I enter this portal, I am blessed with the grace of peace and love to be of service towards my heart's desire that all humanity be joined together in peace and love. In this moment, I am enjoying a respite from the self-doubt and not good enough or spiritually evolved enough to participate in the 52 Codes community. I choose with all my heart.
Take your time.
And so to allow this process and commit my best effort and energy to let go of any habits, thoughts of fear and lack that stand in the way. I am so grateful to be here now in this present moment of breathing and sacred writing in the company of these lovely and powerful women. That's it.
Thank you very much, Christine. Would you like feedback for your writing?
Yes.
I'll
Andy?
start. When were talking, I had an image of a new bud of a rose that was, you could see in the beginning stages of its becoming a rose, and describing curiosity and using words like the newness and the possibility that a bud represents. And then you spoke of words. You used words that described who you believed yourself to be, and you experienced emotion, which my observation is telling you those aren't true words. Those aren't who you are. And the emotion was perhaps an opportunity to clear the energy of those words, because it's not the beautiful bud that you were describing and who you really are. So just an observation of, we sometimes get so caught up in believing those things about ourselves. And to me, the emotion was your inner being connecting and saying, nope, 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 those aren't true. So thanks for being vulnerable in this first time
Thank you.
experience.
Thank you, Patty. I can go. Yes, Christine, thank you so much for being vulnerable in this first sharing and writing with this group. And I felt a lot of sacred process that you really just, both through entering here and through writing and through sharing and through letting the emotions flow, those sacred tears that we are all feeling with you. You modeled this process of transmutation in such a beautiful way. And some of the ways that you did that in your writing were starting out with that one point and repeating that idea, the one point connecting all in time and space, and then moving your attention to curiosity and ancient truths residing in my DNA. And then the way that you took your writing and turned it into action, where you're literally praying for everything and all things and yourself, and how that brought you to this moment of experiencing a respite from the self-doubt and opening throughout to that healing that is a constant ongoing thing in this process of transmutation. So thank you for allowing and for sharing that allowing and for opening us all into deeper allowing. I appreciate you. And I am also grateful that you are here and that I am here. I'm complete.
Yeah, I can go next. I had a lot of the same phrases that Kristina had. So I just have some phrases that I've written down. You said amazed and curious, and there's a center, and there are love thoughts and gratitudes. And asking for ease and flow. And you're blessed with peace and love towards your heart's desire. And again, the respite from the self-doubt. So again, it's great having you here, and thank you for being vulnerable with us as we all move through this process.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn. Christine.
I heard your great desire and effort that that you are making, and to be all that you want to be. And I feel that here and perhaps with this group, and that you don't need to make such an effort. I feel that you're here and you are who you are. Excuse me. And you are very beautiful, and I'm very glad that you're here, and that's all that I have to say.
Thank you, Christine.
Christine, thank you for letting us in on your process a little bit. I mean, I think that we're always discovering and we're always going deeper. And there was a point in your writing where you're like, this is new to me. And I feel that way all the time. It's just like how to integrate that in ourselves in a way where it fits, you know, it's the experience all of a sudden. Some things I wrote down is this point reveals itself to me as a portal transcending time and space. Ooh, that's awesome. How I thought it was really impactful that you were placing your intentions in the nucleuses of all of your cells. It was like, wow, that's 50 trillion cells with your with your intention right in the middle of them. Like, that's powerful. That's how you place an intention. And I really love to, I choose with all my heart and soul to allow this process and commit my best effort, because really it's choosing to continue to grow, to continue to accept whatever hardships come from growing and accept whatever beautiful things come from growing. It's accepting the journey. And it sounds like you've done a great job of that. So thank you for sharing with us and being here.
Thank you, Allie. Christine, would you like to say anything?
No, I think I'm complete. I'm so glad. I wish I hadn't missed the other classes, but how many are left?
3, right, Allie? Or is it 4? 3. So we skip next week, and then we have 3 consecutive classes after that.
Okay. All right. That's thank you so much, Kristina. What a trip. You don't have to drop acid in this life to trip.
Right? I feel like that too. And the more we encourage each other, the more that psychedelic, magical, mystical experience is coming alive in every moment of our lives. And after all, we are the experience of consciousness arising out of the nothingness in every moment. So let us celebrate and witness and bring about the more beautiful world that our hearts know is possible. So we shall bow to close. And again, just to reiterate, there's no class next week. And I'll look forward to seeing y'all, whoever else might show up in 2 weeks. And blessings to every moment and every breath.
A wonderful trip.
All right. So we shall bow to close. Deep honor to everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, much love.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
Bye.
Bye.